So can I ask you, I think, the most important question as it currently stands with this Manchester United team, right? Can you expect to win a game when you start in a Premier League match against a team like Aston Villa, who've got their new manager bounce and have got all decent players and whatever? I know they've got injuries. When they start with a 38-year-old forward who cannot do the main thing that the team needs to do in order to win. We hear from John and you all the time that pressing is a team game, and I'm not saying that Ronaldo can't press at all, but being defensively positionally aware it's just never been part of his game, and is not what he contributed at other clubs previously either, right? So the expectation that a 38-year-old version of Ronaldo would be able to do that and fill in for Rashford or Anthony Martial in that role, who are both pretty adept in that area. I mean, it just seems like a stupid idea. I know they don't have anybody else, but it's a bad idea, right? And doesn't it all? Many of the problems start there.
How do you create chances for him if he's not making runs? He wants to play in his little other space. He's mostly in the middle, trying to get into space to feed off the scraps of things, but they're not getting them. So all chances are going wide from the fullbacks, just lobbing the ball into the box, which is not ideal because the teams sit back against them. They can't create. They can create in transition, which is when Bruno Fernandes is very good. And although they missed him in this game, they actually probably, I was thinking about it, having done a video on it, I think actually they probably had the same problems because Fernandes has the same problems in the middle, but he's not Ozil the way he creates chances. He just gets the ball and sort of makes it happen. And
it's
Ronaldo,
Eriksen really on their team who has got the expertise in breaking down their blocks, right?
Yeah, but even that, I mean, it's still, he has to cross the ball into the box if they're starting to get someone deep, and if you don't play with intensity and speed and energy, then you lose that. And Man United don't really have that at the moment, and they're playing Rashford as an outside winger in this game, and Garnacho's, he'll be decent, I think, but he's not quite there yet.
Sure.
And Ronaldo is like an elite Grant Holt.
Put it this way, right? If they didn't have Ronaldo, and let's forget that it was Ronaldo, would Manchester United ever seek to buy a player of that profile and age to play in their system? No, the answer is no.
No,
right?
I mean, the closest I can think of as an example would be Barca signing Lewandowski for the amount of money they did, but he's still in his prime. Like, he won the Ballon d'Or a couple of years ago.
And also, he suits their system, right?
I think Ronaldo might just also be having a bad season. And like, there's loads to it. I can't. I'm joking with the Grant Holt thing. That's a joke.
Yeah, of course.
But like, he's one of the best players of all time. He is.
Grant Holt was very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, what was the elite Grant Holt is an oxymoron, surely. Grant Holt was the elite.
He was elite. Yeah.
Elite. I'm just saying that to be funny. To be clear, everyone who's going to slag me off for this.
Yeah.
It's. Against that low block, it's hard. I don't think you could put Ronaldo in like that Liverpool team who would struggle with breaking down that same sort of team and expect him to score. But equally, if they played with intensity and energy like they're supposed to, you might have got more crosses in the box, which would then give him the second ball to be able to score from.
Maybe.
It's a bunch of things that are not coming right at the same time. Man United are clearly in transition. It's going to take 2 years before they're anywhere near challenging for stuff. But they are getting better under Ten Hag. I think John covered it in a video recently. It's really good.
What do you think, just briefly, about the Ronaldo situation?
Yeah, I think that
insofar as it is a situation,
there's two issues. One is that the off-ball stuff isn't as good, and when you're one of the biggest jumps that we've seen from Manchester United has been under Ten Hag has been their ability to control games out of possession, and when you're doing high intense and high territorial pressing, you're only as good as your weakest link, because as soon as one person isn't good enough, then there's a weakness that the opposition can then use to try and get around. So that's one thing. But the other thing is, like, even you could put up with that if his on-ball stuff was good enough. And I don't think at the moment he's doing enough to justify the detriment he has on the team's pressing in terms of his in possession stuff. So it's just a natural thing that happens. Players decline. Like Cristiano Ronaldo is what, 36, 37, 38. Yeah. He's older than me, and look at me. If you need an example of something that has declined,
he's 37.
He's 37.
Yeah.
Why do I think he's 38?
He's 38 in February.
Oh, okay. By the time this podcast comes out, or by the time many of the games we've discussed in this podcast are played.
Well, again, in reference to time not being linear, maybe if you listen to this in March, you will then be 38.
Maybe I did.
But this will exist. Until then.
Let's not release the podcast until March. Yeah. Then you'll be right.
Perfect. Let's do that.
If you like this video, please consider subscribing to the channel. The Athletic is home to some of the world's best sports journalists, including David Ornstein, Daniel Taylor, Ollie Kay, Amy Lawrence and Rafa Honigstein. There are journalists dedicated to each Premier League team, so every fan gets the coverage they deserve, not just the big clubs. And you can try it for free now for 30 days. See the link in the description.